Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a blessed Sunday. And in the news this morning for November 12, 2023, bartender dies in St. James crash. The St. James police have launched an investigation into the cause of a crash that claimed the life of a man in Albion, Montego Bay on Saturday morning. The deceased has been identified as Leon Lewis, a bartender of a St. James address. According to reports, about 6 a.m., Lewis was traveling in a Toyota Vitz motorcar along the Albion Main Road when it collided with a Toyota Axio motorcar. The individuals traveling in both vehicles sustained injuries and were rushed to hospital for treatment. Lewis later succumbed to his injuries, while the others were admitted in serious condition. 2 killed in Trelawney crash. 2 people are reportedly dead as a result of injuries they sustained during a 3-vehicle collision on the Braco Main Road in Trelawney on Saturday afternoon. The identity of the deceased have not been released by the police. The accident caused the traffic to back up for some distance along the roadway. Tragedy strikes in St. Mary after boat capsizes. Tragedy struck on Saturday when a boat carrying a group of beachgoers capsized on the rough seas along the coast of St. Mary. Reports are that sometime after 2 p.m., a group at the Strawberry Fields Together establishment was approached by a man offering boat rides at a cost of $4,000. A number of patrons, primarily from a larger group, a part of a bus trip visiting the location from Kingston, reportedly took up the man's offer. Shortly after leaving from the shore, the boat was observed capsized and a rescue effort was launched, which involved several kayaks which were seen rushing to the location. Upon coming ashore, at least 3 women were observed crying. It is understood that 9 persons were aboard the vessel, including the captain. 1 woman remains unaccounted for. Man freed in Klansman Wandon gang trial shot dead in police confrontation. Khalifa Williams, who was freed in the recent Klansman Wandon gang trial, was shot and killed by the police during an operation in Winter's Pen in Spanish Town, St. Catherine yesterday. Williams, also known as a barber, was in custody between 2017 and earlier this year. It is reported that about 3:15 p.m., police personnel went into the Winter's Pen area in search of guns, drugs, and wanted men. It is alleged that Williams fired gunshots at the team as they entered the community. The police reportedly took evasive action and fired back at their attacker. When the shooting subsided, it was revealed that Williams was hit. He was later pronounced dead at the Spanish Town Hospital. The Independent Commission of Investigations is investigating the matter. During the Wandon trial, Williams, whom the prosecution had described as a top shooter in the Spanish Town-based gang, told the court that he never owned or fired a gun. He also denied being a contract killer for the gang. Chief Justice Brian Sykes, who presided over the trial, acquitted Williams, saying the evidence against him was unreliable. Some 15 members of the gang, including leader Andre Blackman Bryan, were later convicted. Williams is the latest person linked to the trial to be killed. Man found dead in Clarendon was due to ID possible suspects in 2021 shooting. The police say an elderly Clarendon man who was found dead on Thursday was due to point out possible suspects responsible for shooting him in 2021. The decomposing body of Joseph Bell, 60, was found with gunshot wounds at his home in Reckford District, Clarendon. Residents reported a foul odor coming from Bell's house, made checks, and discovered his body. The police were summoned, and the Bell's partially decomposed body was seen with gunshot wounds to the head and hands. Investigators have theorized that Bell's demise may have stemmed from a November 2021 incident in which he was shot. An identification parade was pending against a suspect in that shooting, police sources say. It was further disclosed that Bell was targeted after being accused of being involved in break-ins in the community. More than 91 people have been murdered in Clarendon since the start of the year. The struggle is real for mom of murdered 15-year-old. The mother of a murdered 15-year-old student of Homewood Technical High School in Manchester is still struggling with the death of her eldest daughter. I am still unhappy, said Latoya Reese, mother of Natasha Turner. Turner died earlier this year after sustaining injuries reportedly at the hands of her cousin. Allegations are that a question of paternity led to the youngster being bullied by her father's niece, along with Reese's calls for intervention falling on deaf ears. The 16-year-old girl accused of the crime was charged recently with manslaughter, confirmed the Deputy Superintendent of Police Winston Milton, the commanding officer for Trelawney. Her first court date was last Monday. However, Reese told the news that she is still struggling with the loss of her daughter after her senseless killing in their Mendestown community in Trelawney on Tuesday, March 14. Reese further explained that though she is grateful that the accused girl has been brought before the court, she is saddened that her daughter, who she said was full of life, cannot be brought back. "Me not happy. I am still unhappy because I am still grieving. I feel better that I am going to get justice for my daughter, but I am still not happy because this cannot bring her back," she told the news. During a previous interview with the news, Reese shared that she cannot forget the sight of her daughter lying in the road. Reese remembers the evening vividly as her daughter came home from school, complaining about being bullied by her cousin. The mother said that her daughter also complained about pain from cramps and she went to purchase painkillers from a nearby community shop. Unlike other reports, Reese told the news that her daughter did not attempt to fight back and she is left traumatized after seeing Turner's head being slammed onto the road. The mother and the daughter duo had reportedly shared a close bond. Just days before her death, Reese said that Turner sent a heartwarming message to share her love and respect for her. In the message, which was shared with the news, Turner told her mother that she was grateful to have her support. "Love is a great gift that we should never take for granted. I am very lucky to have you, Mom, and I appreciate how much you genuinely care. I never had to ask for your love. You gave it freely and without a question," Turner said. She continued, "There are many people that are not so lucky. Thank you for never judging me, for always being by my side, and for loving me every day." In addition to that, the youngster went on to thank her mother for showing her the importance of having good values and morals. "Virtue is something you instilled in me. Its importance helps me every day of my life. Even if it didn't seem like I was listening to everything you had to say and to what you taught me, I was, and it made me become the better person that I am today. I live and love with honesty, respectfulness, and integrity," the 15-year-old said to her mother 3 days before her death. "I know there is nothing you wouldn't do for me," the youngster also said. Turner ended her message with, "I love you, Mom," to which Reese responded, "I love you too, my firstborn." The grieving mother told the news that it is through that interaction with her daughter that she finds the strength to fight for justice. But the days are not getting easier, as Reese has 2 other daughters who are also struggling with the death of their big sister. "They're not handling it well. We are all still grieving," she said, before stating that her 14-year-old daughter is now attending counseling to help her through the grief process. "She's still going to counseling. I had to bring her to counseling at the hospital, and I still have to pay to get her counseling. Even Monday morning, my mother have to go bring her to counseling. Sometimes she just sits and looks out in space with a blank face. Whenever others are crying, she does not cry at all," Reese explained. As for her extended family, Reese said that they too are still grappling with the youngster's death. Turner is fondly remembered by her infectious laugh and her ambition of becoming a member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force after completing her studies. Reese said that that was the source of an additional heartache which she deals with daily. "You see, people are getting ready to pay for their children's exams, and I don't have my daughter own to pay for," she said, pointing out that Turner would now be preparing to sit Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate examinations next May. Jamaican scammer sentenced to lengthy U.S. prison term. A Jamaican national was on Thursday sentenced to 16 years imprisonment for his role in a fraudulent sweepstakes scheme that targeted elderly victims in the United States. Damone Oakley, 41, of St. James, Jamaica, was convicted in federal court in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Oakley was extradited to the United States in 2022 and pleaded guilty in July this year to 2 counts of mail fraud and 2 counts of wire fraud. Officials said the scheme ran from at least 2010 through 2019. Oakley's victims received mail, text messages, or phone calls in which they were falsely told that they had won millions of dollars and luxury vehicles in a sweepstakes, but they first needed to pay taxes and fees in order to claim the winnings. Oakley used fake names such as Officer Alex Logan or Officer Stan Valentine and instructed his victims on how to send their money. In addition to sending cash or wire transfers, Oakley's victims were directed to purchase electronics, jewelry, and clothing, which were sent to mail forwarding services in Florida and then onward to him in Jamaica.